Hi and welcome to Christine's Holistic Kitchen. Today I'm going to be cooking a spinach and feta pie, which is a Greek speciality.
Spanakopita.
Spanakopita it is called. And the ingredients are feta, I've got 3 eggs beaten up, I've got onion, I've got some herbs, parsley, for example. I have also got spinach, dill, and mint, and a bit of sugar with nutmeg as well. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I've got my pan as well that I'm going to put my pastry in, and that will be, towards the end. So first of all, I'm going to put the onions in the frying pan. So as the onions is sauteing, I will then add the spinach as well as the herbs and the nutmeg. So all of this will go in together nicely. You can hear the sizzling going on. I've just added the spinach to the frying pan with the onions, and I'll just let you see here. See, I'm just adding that so it's going to mix together. I've made sure that I've drained all of the water out of the spinach because that is one of the requirements, because we don't want it soggy. I'm now going to add the fresh parsley, dill, and the mint. I'm going to actually chuck in the sugar shortly as well as the nutmeg, so I'm getting that ready to go next to the actual item whilst it is cooking. So I'm just letting it simmer for a couple of minutes and I will be coming back on. Right, so as you can see here, I've put in the sugar as well as the nutmeg, so I'm just sauteing this, oops, and just getting it so it's nice and juicy. Oh, it smells delicious. Got a lovely, lovely smell to it. Spinach pie is one of the best. You can even, from the spinach pie, you can actually make it like a side dish as well. You can blend it down, add this with fish. Oh, and it is absolutely delicious. So there's so many variations that you can do. So I'm just going to put that again, just to continue that. Now what I'm going to do is I've got 3 eggs here, as you can see, and I'm going to add the feta as well to it. I'll use a spoon. Add that, just mixing that up, and then I'm going to add that to the frying pan as well. it is, all here. And I'm just going to now add the items from the frying pan. But you need to let this cool. So I'm going to let this cool for about 5 minutes before I add this to the mixture here, the egg and the feta, because I don't want it to end up like scrambled egg, even though that is delicious with feta, and that is a whole nother program. But just give me 5 minutes while I let this cool down. Right, so now I'm going to add the feta and the scrambled, the whisk egg, should I say, to the spinach and onion saute mixture. So you have to make sure it's cooled because you don't want it to, you know, go too scrambly. Okay, so just adding this in nice and gently. I'm going to add just a touch of olive oil. Use a cap. Calimera. Ooh, lovely. Nice. This is one of the special dishes here. And I'm just going to let that now sit and cool, and then I'm going to now bring the pastry and set that pie ready to put this mixture into the pastry. Right, so this is the phyllo pastry, and I'm going to just place each sheet over the dish that I have here, for example, and then what I have to do next is I have to oil each sheet individually like this with olive oil. It can be a bit time consuming, but it must be done. But you have to also be gentle with it because it is very thin and it's very delicate as well. So I'm just doing the edges first so that it forms that shape. And then I'll use my brush with the oil to put the oil in. You have to be careful with this phyllo pastry because it rips easily as well, so just take your time with it, even though as you know, phyllo pastry takes time. So you just make sure that you cover each section. And now I'm going to put the next sheet on, and I'm going to do it the long way. As I said, remember these are very delicate sheets. Ooh. As you can see, it's like wanting to run away with itself. So I'm doing it this way so that it can help even out the dish. Usually the dish should be 10 by 15, for example. Depends really how many people are eating, but this is something that you can always have as a snack. So I'm just oiling it up again. This is the third sheet here. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I may need some more olive oil as well. So there you go. That is the next sheet. Right, so now the now the phyllo pastry is in the dish. I'm now going to add the mixture, which is the spinach and the onion saute and the feta and the nutmeg and all of the special things all in here, and I'm going to spread that out gently so that it covers the base. Just want it to cover nicely. You don't want it to be overpowering. Just a nice touch of deliciousness. Okay, I'm just being gentle because I don't want to rip the pastry. So I'm just spreading it out evenly here. Nice and gently does it. Spreading through, taking my time. Nice and gently. I did have my flat one. Can you see me? You can see what I'm doing here, can't you? Yes? Good. So just going to do this gently. I'm just spreading this through nice and evenly. And you will get to see the finished thing. Right, so I'm just spreading that and being as quick as I can be, because the phyllo does dry quickly as well. So now I'm going to add the next layer on here, which I'm going to add them in. I'm going to cut this in half, make it so that it's 3 sheets, for example. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add 3 sheets, but as I add one at a time, I'm going to oil it as well. Okay, and I'm going to do 3 sheets across and 3 sheets that way. But I'm going to add the oil on top so that it doesn't dry out. As you can see, this dries quickly. So I'm going to start being fast here. I'm going to add that in. And the oil. And to sprinkle that on, go around the edges. Sometimes you have to be a bit aggressive because, as you can see, it rips quickly, so I'm going to be fast. And at the end of the day, it's going to be delicious anyway. So I'm quite happy with this. Okay, so now the next layer goes on. I'll probably need a bit more oil in there, please. It's here, thank you. Oil is here. I'm just adding again. Another sheet. And I'm just tucking it in like a little there we go. Perfect. I'm going to be a bit aggressive. I'm just going to pour it in like that, and I'm just going to brush along because I have to be quick with this. Do you know, it takes hours to make phyllo pastry. Someone does it with special hands. I don't know how they manage to do it. If you've ever seen how phyllo pastry is made, wow. I take my hat off to the organization that creates this phyllo pastry, and it's done by a man with his bare hands, and how is just totally amazing. So another sheet. I'm going to tuck it in to the sides, and then I'm going to be pouring the oil because I have to be quick because it dries out quickly. So being quick. This is olive oil that I'm using, in case you were wondering. So I'm just going to add quite a bit just to help it along its way. Making sure that I give it a good soaking, but then at the same time I don't want it to be greasy in my mouth. I want it to just be delicious. And the cooking time is about 40 minutes, but it all really depends what stove you have as well. Like I said, I'm being quick here. Just layering it. It's going to be quite a big pie. I'm just going to pour the oil in. Just to keep it moist. I'm also going to do the edges. Keep it moist, but not too oily, like I said, otherwise it breaks. And then last but not least, this is already soaking up from the previous layer. Perfect. Like I said, just put some on the edges there, and then it will be ready to go in the oven. So there you go. Now I'll put it in the oven. Right, so now it's ready to go into the oven. But first of all, what I've got to do is I've got to score the pastry, but not cut through into the actual thing. So just to, just to give it a thing here. So I'm just doing a little line, for example, like this. And also that also gives me indication of where to cut it. So you can score like that, across, and score across, and score across. So then that's 1, 2, 4, 6, that's slice, 8 slices. I'm gonna leave the edges on because I'll cut it off once I've finished as well. But you can also fold this inside. But I'm going to leave it out. And then what I will do is I'll just switch this off for a moment. Right, so you can cut it like this if you want it to be in this way. Sometimes I just leave it on because sometimes things shrink when they go in the oven, so I always like to look at this at the end rather than before I've actually put it into the oven. So I'm just cutting the edges part here. So this is quite a big pie as well. There you go. And now I'm going to place this into the oven. So here it is, the phyllo pastry pie, which is spinach and feta, and it smells delicious. So I'm just going to get a fork and I'm just going to try it for myself. And as you can see here, there's lots of texture here as well. That tastes delicious. Absolutely delicious. You must try this. And there you have it. Bon appetit.